everybody. I'm just going to do a quick episode here to show you how to use this trailer here behind me. Now, we call this our tanker truck. Some of the people here have affectionately called it our water buffalo. So let's show you what's inside here. Now, first thing, whenever you're pulling a trailer, always make sure you're practicing safe trailer procedures. I'm not going to get into that a whole lot here because I just want to go over how to use our pumps and stuff here. Now, inside here, as you can see, I have a gas-powered pump. We actually have an air compressor hooked up to a generator up front. We'll get into that later. But the most important part is we have a 200-gallon tank back here, and we have these hoses up here. Now, one of them is going to be your fill hose for the tank, and one of them is going to be your discharge hose for the pump. So the first thing, find a source of water somewhere. Go ahead, unlock these reels. You have to pull and turn this little key ring looking thing, and that'll unlock the reel. You can pull your fill hose off to a spigot somewhere and go ahead and start loading this tank up. It is going to take a while because that's a lot of water in there. Alright, so I went ahead and got my tank filled up about halfway here. Something to remember, water weighs a little bit more than 8 pounds, 8.3 pounds per gallon. This tank holds a lot of gallons of water. When it's full, you're going to be right at the capacity for this trailer. So it's better if you just go into a neighborhood, tow this thing unloaded, go into the neighborhood, find that source, and then you can use the pump later. I don't recommend filling this thing up in somewhere in South Carolina and dragging it all the way to Georgia or all the way up to Charlotte, North Carolina or something like that. It's just too many miles. You can put a little bit of water in it, but I wouldn't fill it all the way up to the top. Try to get your water someplace close. Don't be running these tires and these axles with a full load of water in here. It's not good for it. It won't last that long. But first thing here, this is just basically like a little old lawnmower motor. You're going to choke the thing, you're going to turn the fuel on, you're going to throttle it down, and make sure the red knob on the side is on. Now, before messing with any small engine, always check the oil. You never knew who used it before you. Check the gas. You don't want to get 40 miles down the road and realize you don't have any gas, and then you have to backtrack. And it's going to waste part of your day. So before you even start with this guy, check the oil, check the gas. Now cranking it up. Turn the choke on, turn the fuel on, make sure your little on-off switch is on over here, and give her a pull. If she doesn't pop off the first go round, turn that choke off and try it again. There you go, pumping water. Throttle her up. That's basically how you're going to use it. Now, you're probably, when you're putting a test on a rough end or a slab, you're probably going to run this thing at idle speed. If you crank it all the way up, you're going to have a whole lot of pressure coming out of here. That's going to give you a lot of air bubbles, and your test is going to not hold for as long. So just remember that with filling slab up. But that's pretty much it for the pump. Try to let your hoses drain out all the way before you put them back on the reel, and then of course you can reel it up and lock that thing back into position so it doesn't go anywhere. Same thing with your fill hose. Now, what I've noticed about this fill hose, it likes to kink on you, so you're probably going to end up having to pull it all the way off the reel and then try to put it back on the reel as best you can. Now, let's go to the front of this thing and see what we got up there. Alright, in our side door here, I recommend when you're running these motors, these are gasoline powered motors, open these doors up, open the back door up, open the side door up. You want to get some air moving through it. Now this is a little generator. Right now I've got an air compressor plugged into it. The air compressor sits behind it. All this stuff is mounted. We don't take any of this equipment out. The only thing we're basically going to do is check the oil in it, put gas in the top of it, and crank it up. If you need the compressor, you got a plug right here. Same with this guy. You're going to turn the fuel on, you're going to turn the power on, pull out that choke, and give it a pull. When it starts to stutter like that, that's when you're going to make the choke off. Now the compressor is on. It's always on, so all you have to do is plug it up. The reel for the compressor is back there on the back. It works just like the two hose reels. You've got 150 foot of compressor hose on there. When you're taking these stuff off and you're rolling it back on there, get a rag or something and kind of clean that hose off as you reel it back on there. There's no sense in those hoses just being dirty, nasty, and everything. But that's pretty much it. And there is a spare tank with gas in it and a special little mount here on the side. And then of course here's our big tank with our water in it. Now let me show you how to drain this thing down. Alright, so when you're done with this guy for the day, make sure you turn everything off. You're going to have a tank drain right here. It's this blue valve down here. Now it is set up with an overflow. If you fill the tank up too much, it's going to run out and pour out this hose at the bottom. But basically, you're just going to turn that on and your tank's going to start draining out down the bottom. There's no sense in towing this thing around full of water if you're done with it for the day. Just open that up. Don't worry about sitting there letting it drain down. Pack all this stuff up and it can drain down as you head on down the highway. But that's pretty much it. It's a simple contraption. I did build this thing, so I'm kind of proud of it. Please take care of it. We want to keep it around for quite some time. Thanks, guys.